Because if game one is anything to go off, GAM is here to dominate. They do not want BTS to have any hope here in this week 9 matchup.
Yes.
Rebel.
Okay. Yeah.
What do you think about Elio on Yumi?
So I have made this point before, and I will say it again. Anything that prevents Elio from clicking buttons that can cause him to die is a good thing for Elio.
He hits a lot of hooks, though. He does hit a lot of hooks. Now, often they are 1v5.
Yes, they are 1v5, and he ends up in a bad situation where he dies. Harder to do that on Yumi. So I have a lot more trust that since Elio cannot find ways to put himself in danger, that maybe the Yumi is actually a positive play. I think we've seen this before as well, where Elio hasn't had bad games on the Yumi specifically. It's kind of hard to have a bad game on a Yumi, to be quite honest, as well. But at minimum, I think it looks good. I think this is something that Elio definitely has in the back pocket. Not a lot of other supports have showed this. And I'm excited for it because, again, Elio is one of these players I have under a microscope. And if this is one of the things that can differentiate him, then I'm all for it.
And just staying on the Yumi for a moment, this is obviously a champion that in the not too distant past has been completely dominant. But has fallen off. I think people think it's fallen off more than it has, but there are better enchanters to be sure. But I think Yumi is still really good at powering up a hyper carry, particularly a melee hyper carry. So I'm not seeing one.
I am. I think Aatrox is a great champion for the Yumi to attach to in a game like this.
Yeah, not on the same team though.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
it's a really
I agree. I think Aatrox would have been great.
Aatrox, heck, a Nocturne would have been great too. You throw a Nocturne ultimate into the enemy team, and they can't see you coming with a Yumi attached, and all of a sudden their whole team is rooted in place, having half of their health bar eliminated before the Nocturne even arrives and starts auto attacking.
Drakthar first blood. He does die, but first blood secure nonetheless.
I don't love it, mostly because the LeBlanc is the one that needs the gold to get broken out of this lane. Rise pulls the gold, so that means also lane state's even harder to break her out of. And the Lee Sin gets the gold in the grand scheme of things, which is okay if you spread around more. But if you're trying to win the 2v2 in the mid jungle, the gold is much, much better in the pockets of the LeBlanc here, which is kind of unfortunate. I know you can't control that all the time, and it is a good first blood because it's more gold in your pockets than anything else. We get to see everything that happened right here. Great chain from Glory.
Yeah, this was Glory really showing off. It was very close to Drakthar not even being rune prisoned up and getting out. So a little bit unfortunate. Also, Rebel, still on the topic of Sky, Halo Blade Xayah.
Halo Blade Xayah, yeah. It's interesting because I wonder if this, the theory behind this, because I know there was a time and a place where this was actually like the preference. This was before anything recently with like the Xayah changes have come through. There's a time and a place where like the triple feather Xayah in an immediate pull was incredibly valuable when it came to fighting inside of the laning phase. And the reason that you go to Aerie is because like when you have lethality and you're able to chip damage away at individual members again and again and again, it's incredibly valuable because like all of a sudden you're basically tacking 40 damage onto every single combo you throw into an enemy during the laning phase or a little bit outside the laning phase, but it doesn't scale that great because obviously it's one little bit of damage that goes into everything else. But with Halo Blades, the idea is that like you can put down your feathers very quickly and you can immediately get a pull that does a ridiculous amount of damage and it roots them in place because all 3 of your feathers are down at one time if you want to get into an auto-attacking battle. This is much more flexible as a rune. It's not as much of a, okay, I'm definitely going lethality, I'm definitely going crit, because you can kind of go both directions with it. I still anticipate, for this one, I think it's probably going to be crit that ends up coming out in the long term. But I don't mind it with either build, because I think actually you can make it work with the lethality build. You put 3 feathers on top of somebody with an auto attack with the Halo Blades, and all of a sudden they get absolutely ripped to pieces from the feather call.
That's very true. With the pickaxe being picked up first, I think that suggests crit, because otherwise I think we'd be seeing some long swords. Drakthar having a mosey down to the bot side will be spotted, so plenty of time for GAM to respond, but still vision control being taken. Levi yet to have an impact on the game because he is just farming. Oh, Kiaya bearing down on Ryuk. He wants a solo bolo with that early level 6, but can't quite find it.
He's toying with his food a little bit right there as well, because he's right outside the tower range, decides to dance a little bit, take that one tower shot, and then bounce, because Ryu can't really do anything about it. Even worse, Ryu can TP'd, and Kiaya has not yet. Kiaya has not backed. So despite the fact that Ryu got a back off in the midst of everything and has this tier, was not able to beat out Kiaya inside of the laning phase, which is, again, a little bit of a hand stiff compared to anything else that you can see. At least Ryuk's actually not going to miss that big wave because he was able to go get the plant inside of the laning phase. But GAM does have control of pretty much everything. Again, I want to talk about how the Ryze controls things against the LeBlanc, and that means that Ryze gets first access to the river. Not to mention, the reason Nocturne gets taken a lot of times, back when he was a laner, when he was in mid and top lane, it was because he was playing into fighters, and Nocturne's really good into fighters. Now you play him into fighters in the jungle, whether it's Lee Sin, whether it's Volibear, whether it's any of those, which, funny enough, was the reason he got picked in the solo lanes in the first place, because those champions were popularized inside of solo lanes for that time.
Ooh, actually a really nice play there by B, pulling the Xayah back over the trap line, but Drakthar was here. This was actually B that ends up having to pay a summoner spell, despite a really nice use of that handshake. Still think that's one of the coolest basic abilities in the game. It's just so much fun to use. Glory with a nice little trade, but Cardi fires back well. Levi is level 6. And I know that there is a clock ticking in our good man Your Way's brain, as he'll get angrier and angrier for every moment that we don't have the darkness.
Yeah, actually we see 3 members on the top side here, so I'm anticipating that GAM, they either make a very aggressive play with the Nocturne here with the ultimate in the back pocket, or they go for the Rift Herald that's going to be spawning in 20 seconds, or they do a little bit of both, because obviously Drakthar, he knows that there's no blue buff, and Ryuk is here as well, but there's no way they could take this fight against these two with the power that they've got now. Kadi, unfortunately, is out of mana, which I think is really harmful because he also doesn't have TP. So there is that to say about what happens here. Fortunately, it looks like bottom lane, they've just sacked bottom wave between Style and B, and they're going to head to the top side anyway, so it's just going to be a Rift Herald that gets locked in here from GAM.
Yeah, I mean, there is a potential for Sky to fight back with Cardi. As you said, not having that TP, he's still in base. But I do think GAM should be locking this one up. It is a 4v3 on the map at the moment. Glory, a little bit caught out. Levi doesn't follow over the wall. Now Drakthar tagging. That'll be a Rift Herald resetting. And now Xayah and Yuumi are in range, and Sky have control of this half of the river.
Now, Kadi does actually get here in time as well, so that is the one benefit of this getting stalled out a little bit longer, as well as ultimates still being available for both sides, which is the biggest one, of course, being the Nocturne ultimate being able to shut off the lights. I really wanted to see them get B level 6, because that would have been huge as well. There we go.
Lights out. Drakthar's in trouble. Levi flashes over the wall. He knows where his bread is buttered, and he will have that breakfast. Ryuk taking a lot of damage, as well as Kiaya brings down the Darkened Blade. Almine, they're on the chase after him, gets CC'd up, uses the Featherstorm to buy himself a little bit of time. Can the bird and cat get away just about with the last chapter coming in at the last possible moment? But it's 2 kills and a Herald over to GAM, I should say.
Yeah, easy enough. Again, the first pass at the Rift Herald, which was the easy pass coming through from the side of GAM, doesn't end up working out. They pull out without burning any kind of expenditures whatsoever, and then they come through on the second pass when they have full reinforcements and they're able to take complete control of the pit with no ramifications whatsoever. They end up getting 2 kills actually in the back pocket, as well as now even a free turret play for Style on the top side, because they brought down a number of members that came through from the side of Sky in the process of this whole thing, which is just, again, this isn't the same kind of fast-paced gameplay that we saw from GAM in the previous one, where they're up like 6k gold or something at this point in the game, but this is pretty methodical. This is something you'd expect to see against even some of the best teams inside of the league, and you love that that's the case. Not to mention, I don't know, never mind, this is a point I guess I'll make a little bit later in the broadcast, because it's an interesting point to talk about, but obviously them getting a couple of picks and setting up for this, it means that they can continue to compound their gold lead a little bit better.
It very much does. So far, I have been a little bit happier with Drakthar in this game. He has tried to have an early impact. It hasn't worked out, which is not surprising up against GAM, but I'm glad to see that they're happy to actually try and take it to them.
Oh, yeah.
Kiaya's just walking up 1v3. They turn the lights out, but that's not going to the bottom side. That's in the top side. Ryuk is dead, as Renata has arrived to the bottom side as well, as B backs up Kiaya, will save the tower, and GAM continue to get further and further ahead with a tower taken as well.
Absolutely. able to somehow they're able to actually make this whole lane swap happen with Kiaya, where like Kiaya is on the bottom side of the map. They can't really push this with Amina and Elio all that effectively, which means that they get gold into style. See, normally this would be going into Kiaya, which I think is also perfectly valid because Kiaya is a team fighter as well. There aren't a lot of members that are operating outside of range that Aatrox can really work from. I guess Xayah is really the only one. I guess Yumi also, but like for the most part, it's just Xayah. But the fact that they get not only defensive Kiaya on the bottom side of the map, and they're able to get top tower, but the fact that they put it into the Jinx, I think is the most important part here. Just because again, GAM is wanting to accelerate, and this is one of the better ways to do so. Because Kiaya, yes, he's operating from similar margins, but you've got a lot more gold into your ADC to be able to do a bunch of the carry work. And this was the play on the top side, obviously, taking advantage once again of the massive ultimate coming through from the Nocturne. That is one of the cooler things that we actually see inside of the game. I love that GAM has been able to utilize this old-fashioned pick. I know a lot of people know from Levi from his past and being able to play that Nocturne pick. It's the old special from Worlds 2017 that he's been able to break back out.
Yeah, making Sky look like that old fanatic in this game that got completely shocked by an incredibly early Nocturne ult back in the day. Very fun stuff. So many people, if we go on Twitter and the VCS gets mentioned and stuff, that's the play that people remember to this day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
God, we need to get back to the international scene.
This year, man, this MSI, it's not too far out. We're gonna get a chance to see it in just a couple of weeks now, where VCS will be back on display, thankfully. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. That there's no last minute hurdles. But anyway, back on to the Rift. We did have GAM secure themselves that second Drake, and we head on to the Cloud Rift as farming continues. We do actually have a decent CS lead for Glory in the mid lane, having a much better early game. But here comes Nocturne. Here comes a Realm Warp. They're going in. Carti, he's in trouble as the feathers come back. B will go down. B got a takedown on the way out, so he actually reses, but Carti is left to die. So Sky at least getting something back. Glory wants to try something, but that is such a lovely handshake.
Absolutely sick from B. We talked about walking into a game like this that we were going to compare B to Zuhao and his ability to actually play the champion as it is right now. You see Draclar going up against Kiaya right now. I think this should just end up in Kiaya running away. Ooh.
Drakthar doesn't want to let it be that way. Drakthar, lovely stuff.
Yeah, what a stud, man.
Teleport in as well.
Yeah, this guy should have a fan club somewhere. I don't know where it is, but definitely should be somewhere. No bathroom trips for us today because that was pretty pretty hot. Because again, he's really the only one making early game plays. I love this coming out because again, they're using a lot of their cross map action to be able to make aggression happen. This is difficult because it's a Xayah and a Yumi combination. The one benefit, I guess, is that the Yumi gets the goal, but there's an argument to be made that that's even worse than anything else that can come through. Now Glory,
we come out of the.
The rocket is hidden for so long by vision. I really want to know whether Levi did that on purpose because he turned back for 1 second, even though I know he knew that was the right LeBlanc that he was chasing because of its movement. Because think about the mind game here, where he turns back slightly and then Glory's like, "Oh, I fooled him. I'm getting out," and then the rocket just boom from completely out of nowhere.
And see, that's the thing. You know, Glory had a rough game one. You've got to get him back into it. You've got to be like, no, Glory, you've got a chance. Then crush his dreams.
Yeah, it's a...
Can't just pick him when he's down.
It's spectacular mental warfare. Yet another kind of tool to the tool belt that gets
psychic damage being dealt.
Oh, no. Feels bad, man. The VCS has hard enough time with its psyche as it is. They don't need people doing psychic things.
Watch out tonight, Korean solo queue. Watch out.
Oh, no. All right, this game is slowly falling to pieces, and it looks like we have a moment of reprieve. I say that. Okay, we're gonna go to a replay. This is just the Glory play again. Okay, I want to get the vote here as to whether or not that's gonna be the case. There's Glory jumping over. Style throws the rocket. Boom. I wanted to see the dodge back. Oh man. Okay, it didn't show the important part. That's fine. It was a nice rocket coming out from Style one way or another. Okay, so this GAM team. I was talking to Jensen because he's now the coach of my school, Maryville. And two of the best spells of the game are currently on GAM's team, and I want you to guess which two spells that they've got are two of the top 10 best abilities in the game.
I'm assuming Paranoia.
Paranoia is one of the top 10, yes, but the number one ability in the game is currently on this team. You have to guess which one that is.
I mean, it's either Realm Warp or Hostile Takeover. But we have a fight kicking off, so we'll have to come back to it. Oh my word, there is that hostile takeover, setting up one. Doesn't quite get onto the rest of it. Now Levi has entered the backline. Rocket giving him a little bit of help with the damage. Can he actually get onto Almine? No, not quite. He'll go down into that bailout state, but he gets a takedown. Brought back by the magic of Renata Glask, as that is perfect. In fact, is the other one Renata W?
It is not. It's actually Realm Warp for a number of reasons that we can talk about later. And it's about the ability to move around the map, which is a very consistent trait among the top 10 abilities in the game for Mr. Jensen Go. And you've seen them be able to take advantage of it time and time again. This is another perfect example where the Realm Warp was used to put GAM into a right position. Levi was able to use the Paranoia to be able to get deeper into a fight that normally you'd be able to have access to. And GAM are able to take a fight not just off the back of like a gold advantage, but the fact that they're kind of just dominating by making the first proactive play inside of a game by moving one or multiple members all at once with a number of different abilities to come through. So it's really incredible the way they've been able to utilize these tools that are so effective. And you know why that he appreciates them. Again, being able to move around the map is always a valuable thing. But being able to move multiple members with a Realm Warp or with the Paranoia is just it's a humongous thing that you're able to accomplish in a game like this. And it means that Sky has a very difficult time often getting any kind of numbers to compete against GAM.
This is exactly what we want to be seeing out of them. Let's have a look at this replay as we get it kicked off. Oh, never mind. No replays here in the VCS because we have more fights as we've already had Style pick up 2 kills. They fire back with one onto the Renata, but a third is secured going to Kiaya's pocket. And speaking of thirds, it's a third dragon for GAM.
Yep. And now we're waiting to walk this one into the absolute end of the game. Kadi's under no threat from Glory in a side lane for the most part. Glory's just too far behind to actually kill the Rise. You want to talk about that in the other side lane as well. Ryuk has, like, scraps of scraps. He's AP Gragas with an Everfrost and an Oblivion Orb. This is a home run attempt from Glory if I've ever seen one before, but they've pitched Style.
They have, but he's playing it. Ooh, he nearly did something horrendously illegal, but thankfully we don't have to call the authorities as Officer Glory is here for some police brutality.
So I don't know whether the Gale Force actually tracked the Gragas right there, but if he had gone down instead of up, I'm curious if Style would have actually pulled that kill. If we get a replay, I'll get a chance to see it better, because it's possible the darts hit him anyway, and it just wouldn't have been enough damage. But if he had gone down with it, and it did kill the Gragas with one more auto attack, and he'd get excited, almost certainly Style just runs out of that situation with the excited and gets away from the teleport anyway, which is just wild to think about because he nearly made the play happen. They are going to indulge me here, which, oh no, this is the fight in the bottom river. Never mind.
We might get both. You never know.
We might get both.
So this was, we missed the start of that fight. It was just a gun catch.
Yep. It's just them being able to utilize, again, these very quick kind of global tools to be able to get elsewhere and make things happen at the beat of their own drum, I guess is the best way to put it.
Kiaya is fearsome. This Aatrox is not something we see come out super often for him, but again, referring to Hankei's little draft games on Twitter, he would always use it as a, haha, but you didn't think about the Aatrox. So he obviously has a very high opinion of this champion. A Herald secured for GAM as well. And honestly, wherever you look on GAM, things are pretty strong. And it's hard to see how BTS gets back into this as a tower falls and Almine is under threat. Realm Warp, Paranoia, here we go. They found Drakthar and they've given him the toaster. The Everfrost goes in onto Ryuk as well. And down he goes. 2 kills out of nowhere.
Actually,
Glory trying to turn it around. Got a cat with him, but Style wards him off.
Yeah, able to prevent him from actually coming in completely here. They have just the one cannon mid here. They're trying to get under tower so they can actually push for the turret itself. I don't think they actually are able to do it. Oh, that's rough. They will wait for the second wave. They'll be able to capture it on this one. It's a situation where, once again, Sky, they were not anticipating at all the kind of shift into bottom side right there. If they had had a pushing wave, if GAM had actually sent one person down to the bottom side, it would have been possible maybe to even pull bottom tower off of this as well, which would have been humongous, at least as something. Now, in fairness, its resources pulled away. It's a Glory that might have had an easier job kind of infringing upon the mid lane play and prevent them from getting that wave underneath and pulling the mid inner tower, which is, to a lot of teams, a lot more valuable. But this is a situation where, again, GAM just kind of gets to pick whatever they want to do because it doesn't matter. They're up so much gold. They're up so much power inside of a game like this. Oh, wait, what happened at the very end of the play right there? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he did.
All right. We'll see. This is, again, a nice swap. Again, look where the wave is at on the bottom side. It feels like you could have sent one person down here, maybe. But the top side play went so disastrously, or at least enough damage went out that they must have been afraid. What happened to B?
I don't know. I just saw it pop up that he got killed. I just saw the pop up. I don't even know who killed him. Yeah, as if we have that power. Good joke.
Germans are all powerful in our broadcast, that's for sure. That's what I'll say.
It's true. It is true. Thankfully, they never decide to deal their Schaden.
Oh.
So what?
That showed nothing! Why are you just clowning me in the replay? Yolway, why would you do that to him? I don't understand. They don't even show the lead up.
Where I feel like that asked more questions than it answered. But speaking of being asked questions, Kiaya is being asked, how do you get out of this one? Uses that first bit of healing from the ultimate. He is ticking down. They're going to go back in with the Gore Drinker. Can he get onto Ryu? He certainly can. And Glory, you've got no hope as the Darkened Blade rises back from the depths to take one. You can bring one. You can bring two. That's not going to be enough against this man. They pick up a Baron. They realm warp over to help him out. Oh, my word. This is still going. Kiaya is a raid boss.
Yes. The funniest thing about this play on the bottom side... Okay, there's a round. This is going to win the fight pretty much across the board. Let's see if anything else happens. Yeah, that's fair. There's another one. There's another one. Okay, Amita has to ultimate just to not die, but of course gets hit by the ultimate from the Renata. This is disaster, pretty much across the board. This bottom lane fight started with an attempted pick onto Kiaya. I really want to see the replay because I have a bit of commentary to talk about over top of it, but this is the winning move from GAM. This gets them everything. Kiaya, even if he dies, they get Baron on the other side of the map, and that's fine. They got like 5 kills on the back end of everything, and they get the dragon in their back pocket, and it's a Cloud Drake to put like Aatrox in even better position. Nothing could have gone worse here for the side of the sky. Everything went toppling.
Unmitigated disaster.
Truly.
That is the only way to put it.
I really want to see
disaster.
the bottom side play. I need to see this bottom side play because I have a bit of... I just need to discuss the thing that I saw at the beginning of that fight that made things go so poorly there. But yeah, this is the Swan Song. This is unfortunately Sky that's probably going to be calling. The question is whether or not GAM can finish in 50 seconds to make Yolway's prediction correct or not. They're taking back, so unfortunately I think it's going to be that our prediction is incorrect for the desk, which is... It's close. I mean, let's face it, it's probably one push away, but unfortunately this is just a minute too late. So
yeah, your way, he's typically pretty close, but in this case no cigar. It is a 14k gold lead at 24 minutes.
Show me the replay, cowards.
They know that if they show it again, the stream might get taken down. Can't show that on a Christian Minecraft server.
Yeah, it's true.
But this is an absolute shellacking.
Mm-hmm.
They're pushing this top wave. They want to get this last outer. A pick has come in. B will go down, but with a Realm Warp arriving and Levi firing back immediately, they will get glory in exchange. You have to say that's worth it. The Paranoia now being used. Drakthar having to flash away, but out comes the Ghost Trail as he's trying to get onto him. Has another Fear charging up. There should be a 1v1 kill. Tower has gone down in the mid lane. Drakthar, somehow still alive, should go down momentarily. Finally, there it is as more and more of Sky's base is picked apart. Cardi just playing frontline under a tower in front of 2 members of BTS. But that is still not enough for him to even feel nervous. And with this next wave arriving, the base will be dismantled. And if I know GAM, they're going to just try and end.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see the scoreboard as to whether or not Elio actually died in this game, because that's the only other thing that I'm tracking among all the things is whether the Yui's gone down. I don't remember Elio going down. Oh, actually, that's not true. I think Elio went down once. Yeah. Almost certainly went down the one time. And they don't even finish on the back of this, so it's not even a 1-minute prediction off, unfortunately, for our desk analysts. So that's unfortunate. Not to clown Yolway anymore, because obviously this game is completely...
No, do it. No, I'm
not going to. No. I won't do that to him. It's not fair because he's right. The game has been over for at least a minute, if not longer.
No, okay, so Elio has died 4 times.
Huh? Died 4 times on a Yumi!
What? I mean, to be fair, when everyone you're attaching to is dying, there is only so much you can do.
This is correct.
I don't really think it's Elio's fault. It is just a complete and utter smashing here by GAM. In fact, I don't even think you can identify too many situations where BCS made mistakes.
Yeah.
They're just worse than GAM.
Yeah.
So they just lose every contact.
Cool. They're going to
Australia's
win right now.
They're going to take a tower. The last chapter is coming out, just trying to clear the wave. But that's not going to hold them back for very long. Ryuk now on the front line, having to use that flash rocket coming in from the backside to pepper them with damage. Glory is not even brave enough to pull the trigger on an engage for this LeBlanc as they pick up even more kills. In goes Levi. They don't want to let anyone get out with their KDA intact. As once again, this LeBlanc will fall down, and this blast from the past with the Levi Nocturne pick has certainly gone well.
Yes!
Into the fountain they go. Woohoo! GAM is having fun as Kiaya dives to the laser, but they make sure that no one from BTS gets out alive. As the Nexus will fall and GAM will take one of the more dominant best of threes that we have seen in a very, very, very long time.
20K at 28 minutes.